Well, all is quiet here in the pig pen. We just finished processing our 4 boys that we had over here, and all we have left now are the 2 females. We have Mo and Emma, and they seem to be a little different. They've been acting a little different since the boys have been gone. And pigs are really smart animals. I've noticed a lot of difference in them since we dispatched the 4 boys and got them out of here. I've actually enjoyed it for the fact I'm not being bum rushed by 6 pigs every time I come in here to feed. The mud's gotten so thick because of them, I can't hardly get to the feeder. This one's impossible to get to. This one I would get stuck. I'd have to find little islands to jump on to get over here without getting knocked over. So for me, it's a lot better. It's a lot more peaceful in here. Al, he's over there enjoying the sunshine. It's a pretty nice day. I think it's 50, going to get up around 65, 70, something like that. So pretty soon, hopefully, the 2 big mamas over there will be pregnant. Around March, they'll be dropping some piglets. We can bring Al through the gate over here to breed the other 2 girls. That's the plan. What do you think, girl? What do you think? I don't think she has much trust in me anymore. And Mo, she's still trying to get her trust built back up. And we definitely learned a lot from processing these pigs. I think if I do meet pigs again, which I will, it'll be a couple years though, I think it'll be in front pasture. We have a weaning pen over there. I may just use it to raise 1 or 2 pigs over there for meat. I don't think I will ever do 4 again. That like to wore us out. All right, I got to finish up this side of the blackberries that I never got finished last year. I bought some T-posts last night. We're going to finish our trellis for this row. I still need some more wire. This first row's wired up. All those way over there, they're wired up. I sort of worked my way across. I ran out of wire here, so I need to get some more wire next week. But this week, I'm going to drop these T-posts in super quick. All right, well, not the straightest trellis I've ever built, but that's okay. It's got a job, and all it is supposed to do is hold up the blackberries. This little patch right here of 60 is called Ponca, and they did pretty good. I had a lot that did good, and then I had some that really didn't. But I'm expecting a big boom out of them this spring. I'm expecting them to really take off. Like these guys right here, they did good. It's like, I would say 75% did really, really well. Now that's our Ponca there, that patch. And over here is our Wichita. And they did fantastic. I mean, they just blew up. These guys, I couldn't get them to stop growing. They would go over the top wire, down, and they were just running wild. So this patch of Wichita, I'm gonna come in and prune these. I want to prune them up to about 4 foot, just sort of dial them down a little bit, because when spring comes, they're going to take off again. This will be the year that they put on tons of fruit. So super excited about this spring. The blackberries have really been a lot of fun to grow, but I'm learning. I've never grown blackberries before. I had a goal last year to pick enough blackberries, wild blackberries, in order to make me some blackberry wine. And my son-in-law said, "You got all this land right here. Why don't you buy some of the top-notch, big, thornless blackberries from Ison's nursery and grow your own? You won't have to worry about the little stickers on them and the little tiny berries that we have out here in the South. it would just take forever. So we did. We planted 120 in these 2 patches here, and we got a few berries last year, but this year should be the year we get tons of berries. So hopefully I'm doing everything right. I'm pretty sure I am. We'll see. Look at this guy. This thing is like 12 feet tall. And for you guys that are wondering, I will be trying to root a lot of these to put at my daughter's property and my son's. Now these are only 1-year-old plants, so I try to clean out whatever little grass or debris is growing under them. Also, I cut out any dead limbs from last year. These are the little limbs that produced fruit. They're called the floricanes. So they won't produce this year. They're dead. I just like to clean them off. Again, here's 2 more. There's not a lot on them, like I say, because these are first-year plants. But go ahead and cut them out. Next year, there'll be some really, really big dead ones after the fruit's been produced. Well, it looks like a mess out there. I got to get all them flags cleaned up. They've all dry rotted. They've been out there for a year. Time to swap them out. But look at that. I can root all these, cut these up, root them. They're basically $10 a plant. That's budget farming. All right, well, next we're out here in the muscadines. We got 6 more plants to put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That we didn't have time to put in last week. Just gonna wrap that up real quick because I didn't have time to finish last week. It got dark, then I had to work and the rain set in. So today we're gonna knock these 6 out really, really fast and see what we can get into next. All right, all the blue tubes are replacements. And I think I've had 17, I can't remember, 15, 17, something like that I had to replace. Plants that just weren't growing like I wanted them to. 2 years and they hadn't done a thing. And then some that had died, just a weaker plant. Sometimes you get great plants and sometimes you don't. When you buy 200, this vineyard has 263 plants in it. And you're gonna have a few that just don't want to pull their weight. Well, speaking on that, having 263 plants here, another 36 in the small vineyard, the pig pens, the blackberries, the chickens. I got other stuff coming this spring. All that going on here at the farm. There's something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about. And it's basically budget farming, how to farm on a budget. I've had people say, wow, you know, how you do all this stuff, that's crazy, you spend all that money. This took a lot of time, a lot of time and a lot of years. This vineyard took me 3 years to do, and I didn't do it well. I just dumped out a lot of money. I did it on a budget. We're a budget family. We're trying to pay off our farm. We have a huge goal of trying to pay off our farm. We're this close. We're months away. We're almost there. But being a budget family, I just spend a little at a time, and I stay persistent. Say for instance, my posts. When there was nothing out here, the first thing I started buying was the posts. They were the most expensive. I would buy 5 at a time. I'd put them 5 in with concrete. I'd have to buy the concrete too. But I'd put those 5 in. The next weekend, I'd put 5 more in. The next weekend, I put 5 more in. And that was this upper end. Then I had to do the lower end. I did all those. And I want to say there's 29 rows. Then the T-posts. Oh my gosh. The T-posts were a nightmare. That's what took, I think, the most time, was hammering in all these T-posts. I don't even want to count how many T-posts there are, but I hammered in every single one of them T-posts by myself with a T-post pounder. And I would buy, I want to say, 10 a weekend. I was buying like 10 a weekend. I'd drop in 10. Next weekend, I'd drop in 10 more. But just to stay on that budget mindset. And I want to say that you guys could do that too. Don't think that you can't do all the things I'm doing. You may not have as much property. I don't have a lot of property, but you may have an acre and you want to grow something. Grow a tree. I planted this pear tree. I bought one pear tree. I planted it. This thing is giant. It's right beside the pig pen, so it's getting fertilized nonstop. So this thing has only been out here for 2 or 3 years. It needs pruning bad, but this thing is probably 30 foot tall. It put on an enormous amount of pears this year. Did I say plum tree? It's a pear tree, but it put on a ton of pears this year. So I bought 2 more. I put those in, and they're just a couple years old. They're doing great. I mean, they're just doing great. 20 bucks a tree, 20, 25 bucks a tree. But it kept me on that budget, and I had something else to plant that I could grow, and something I could eat, I could share with the pigs. The reason I planted them mostly was for some extra shade and that free food just falling in the pen for the pigs. They love it. Another thing of budget farming, like I was saying earlier, the blackberries that I cut, we'll root them tonight and start getting them ready to go for this spring. And once they get good and rooted, I will put a bunch of them at my daughter's place and a bunch of them at my son's place. I also have a friend of mine down the road that is doing the same thing we've been doing. So I'll call him and see if he wants it. Popped in my head earlier to call him and see if he wants some of these. He would love to have some of these blueberries. Blackberries. Yeah, trying to stay on a budget has really helped us to keep from going broke, because I absolutely love doing all this stuff. I love planting my fruit. I'm a fruit addict. I just love it. Another thing I could talk about when it comes to budget farming or budget homesteading, whichever y'all like to call it, is you can buy some production plants. That's what I try to do, high production plants. The muscadines put on every year. They're super easy to grow, and they put on tons and tons of grapes. It's really crazy. Blueberries are the same way, the pear trees, anything with a high production rate I like. Something that's easy to grow, I like. I feel like I get my money's worth for it. One example of that is this elderberry. I love these elderberries, and my daughter's taking them over. She loves them because she makes elderberry syrup. But look at these elderberries. This is started from one plant. We bought them from Ison's Nursery. It was one stick, maybe 16 inches long. And over here, this one didn't do quite as well. It produces every year, but not quite as well. Nothing like this one. But this one gets shaded out by this tree really, really bad. It'll get shaded out really, really bad, but it still does okay. And it's just taken off. The roots shoot under the ground and send up shoots everywhere. You can cut all this back this winter, which we will. Right before spring, we'll come and cut it all the way down to the dirt, and we'll root these and spread these out amongst everybody. And these elderberries are super easy to root And they grow, my gosh, they grow like crazy. Like I say, one stick here, one stick here. This one is basically about to take over everything. If I don't keep it cut with a lawnmower, it just constantly spreads. Look at this little shoot. You can see where we planted it over there. And this little shoots right here, they just steady work their way out. Really neat. But high production plants, I love them. I absolutely love them. Well, guys, I just try to get something across about how we can farm or homestead, whatever, like I say, whatever you want to call it, or how we can grow our own food if we don't overthink it. Don't think you have to plant a whole bunch all at one time or spend a whole lot of money or spend a whole lot of time. I've only been out here maybe 2 hours, and I've pruned all the all the blackberries, I keep calling them blueberries, all the blackberries, and I planted my 6 muscadines. I'm done for the day. I do just a little every weekend, just so, I don't want to say get burnt out. I'm getting older. Just because I don't want to get too tired. How about that? Well, guys, I hope you learned something on this video. We can do this. We can do it, and we could stay on budget. We don't have to spend a lot of money. We don't have to spend tons of time. Just do a little every weekend. Spend 20 here, 20 there. One thing about when you plant these trees, they're here for a long, long time. A long, long time. When you plant these blackberries, they're there for a long, long time. And one good thing about these blackberries, they spread just like them elderberries. This is the first year with the blackberries. I will keep y'all posted on how these blackberries do, because I'm still learning with the blackberries. I think I got the muscadines down pat, but the blackberries I'm still learning. There's supposed to be shoots come up out of the ground where I can start pulling shoots from this and spreading out. So all right, well guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. I had an absolute ball making this one. I have a hard time trying to relate what I want to say a lot of times, but I do know that you can do this. You can grow a little at a time, and it don't cost you a fortune. Check out Ison's Nursery. They have great prices on all their stuff. That's where I buy everything from. Everything on my farm comes from Ison's Nursery. Check them out. You could save a lot of money. And like I say, buy some high production plants, stuff that you can root later. You can root all these muscadines. I don't have to buy the muscadines from Ison's. I do it out of convenience. You can root all these muscadines. You could root them. You can propagate them. I mean, muscadines are a no-brainer. They're so easy. I don't know why everybody in the South don't have some in their yard, but they're easy to grow. But anyway, love you guys to death. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, help me out. Click that subscribe button. If there's something you'd like to see on the farm, let me know in the comments section below. I'd really appreciate it. Love you guys to death, and we'll see you on the next video. Just wanted to show you guys something real quick before we end this video. Hang in there. Spring is coming.